table at the back of the room. At this time, I'd like to welcome up Doug Dixon, District Golf Course Manager, to lead us in the pledge. And after the pledge, Recreation Superintendent Chase Michelotti will say a few words.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Chair Langen and members of the board. Tonight I'm pleased to welcome our Cordova Golf Course Manager, Doug Dixon. Doug directly oversees all operations at Cordova Golf Course and played a key role in building on its recent resurgence, ensuring continued success while serving our vibrant and growing golf community. Doug grew up in Los Altos, California, and has called Sacramento home for 17 years. He attended the University of Montana, where he studied recreation management and business administration. Doug has 26 years of experience in the golf industry and began his career with the United States Golf Association in 2009. He later advanced to the first assistant professional at El Paso Country Club before ultimately joining us. Outside of work, Doug's an avid watcher of both his teenage daughter's sporting events and enjoys disconnecting in the outdoors. And when he's not golfing or hiking to a swimming hole, he enjoys spending quality time with his wife Katie and daughters Rebecca and Lauren. We are truly fortunate to have Doug as a part of our team, and we are very excited about the continued success he'll bring. Doug, thank you for your dedication, leadership, and hard work from day one, and we truly look forward to seeing what lies ahead for Cordova Golf Course under your direction. Thank you.
All right, that brings us to 2 standing action item SB 707 requests.
This is the portion of the meeting where we deal with any requests to join remotely through SB 707. We received no requests under the emergency cause provisions and will list it as no action taken.
3, roll call.
Director Sloan?
Present.
Director Danzel?
Here.
Secretary Irwin?
Here.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Here.
Chair Langen?
Here. B, comments by the public on non-agenda items.
Members of the public may address the board on topics within the district's jurisdiction that are not listed on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. It is a violation of state law for the board to discuss or take action on non-agenda items. Board members may only briefly ask clarifying questions or refer the matter to staff. And at this time, we have received no speaker cards. However, is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? And seeing none, there is no public comment.
All right, that brings us to C, the consent calendar. Are there any items board members would like to pull?
No.
No, sir. Okay, do I have a motion?
Chair Langen, I'll move the board accept the consent calendar items C1 through C7.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Secretary Yearwood and a second by Director Sloan.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Secretary Irwin?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye. All right. Presentations, I see none. Committee reports, I see none. That brings us to F, public hearings.
Item F1, adopt resolution 25/26-33, approving the preliminary budget for the Cordova Recreation and Park District for fiscal year 2026/27, and authorize the general manager to file with the county auditor controller. And CFO Matt Goodell will be presenting this item once the public hearing opens.
Public hearing is now open at 6:34.
Check. Okay. So good evening, Chair and board members. Tonight I'm asking for your approval for the fiscal year 2026-2027 preliminary budget, which represents a lot of work between staff, community feedback, committees, and the board over the past few months. Overall, the proposed balanced budget is about $39.8 million. It supports our day-to-day operations, continued investment in our parks and facilities, and planning for future growth. A few highlights. Operationally, we're proposing a spending plan of about $23 million, heavily focused on maintaining service levels and keeping up with demand. Staff is also recommending 33 capital improvement projects totaling about $3.7 million plus over $11 million in park impact fee funding to help deliver new parks. You also see a continued focus on ongoing maintenance projects, trails, playground repairs, sports courts, and facility upgrades. And for debt, this year will be the last payment and retirement of the Mather Sports Center loan from 2008. Parks and Golf is looking into robotics and exploring leasing as a budgetary tool for fleet services. In this budget is a modest staffing increase of 4 full-time equivalent positions, along with a compensation study to make sure we're on track, staying competitive. This year marks the second year in a row of receiving the GFOA Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, proving accountability, transparency, and best practices. Importantly, the general fund remains stable and does not rely on borrowing, and our S&P Global rating is at A+, which speaks volumes of who we are. Overall, this budget really comes down to 3 things: maintaining what we have, investing where it matters, and preparing for continued growth. After tonight, the budget will remain available for public review, and we'll come back in August with our final version of the final budget book. With that, staff recommends the board adopt the preliminary budget as presented. Thank you.
All right, are there any public comments?
We received no written comments and seeing none.
The public hearing is now closed at 6:37. All right. So we can start down there at the end with Director Sloan. If you have any comments or questions.
I really have no questions or comments. I think Matt's done a really good job. I was on the ad hoc committee with looking at this preliminary budget, and he did a great job of presenting it to us, and I think that it's admirable work, Matt.
Good time.
Good job.
Mr. Goodell, thank you. It's been a long 15 years
Yeah.
working this and getting it to look professional, first of all. And the numbers are there, and there's reserves, which we continue to grow and at the same time build and work on, capital improvement projects and, some of the historical projects that we put off for many years because we didn't have the reserves. So it's great to see that we're continuing to move forward. So thank you.
Agreed.
In my case, it's been a shorter 11 years, but where we've come from 11 years ago to today is amazing. Your hard work is always appreciated. I do have one question. So our bond rating is A+. If we pay off this Mather Sports Complex, can we get something better?
So they like to, between 2 to 4 years, come evaluate us. And so that would definitely be probably a strong criteria to potentially increase us.
Okay.
But plus it allows us flexibility to, if we had to borrow again, we can. So, but
All right.
yeah, definitely. Looking forward to the next evaluation.
All right. Great
Plus,
job.
plus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, great job. I'm sorry, I was writing down notes for another topic, but I just want to make sure that you mentioned that the Mather Sports Complex is being paid off this year.
Yeah.
Not only is it being paid off, but it's being paid off early.
Yeah.
And so I just want to make sure that that's also
Exactly.
probably out there
Yeah.
and known too.
Yeah.
So that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Great job. Very well put together. For someone that doesn't love to look at numbers all the time, I can understand it. So I appreciate it. My one question is, with the 3% COLA, where would those funds be coming from?
Yeah, so it come from our general fund. It's in our TENS budget, and it's about $286,000 impact that we're having overall. I know HR has an item, I think G3 after this, to speak to that. But we were able to squeeze it in the budget and still come out with a little bit of reserves, and that was my goal. And so it was able to accommodate it, yeah.
Awesome,
Overall,
thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank you, Chair.
Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion. I move the Board of Directors adopt resolutions 25/26-33, approving the preliminary budget for the Cordova Recreation and Park District for fiscal year 2026-27, and authorize the general manager to file with the county auditor controller.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So I have a motion by Director Sloan and a second by Director Danzel. Roll call vote.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
All right, that brings us to G, regular calendar.
Item G1, adopt resolution 25/26-34, approving the park development agreement with Taylor Morrison of California LLC for the Steel Ridge Development Project, and authorize the chairperson of the board of directors to sign the same. And at this time, we received no speaker cards, and seeing none, I will turn it over to Park Planning and Development Manager Laura Taylor.
Good evening, Chair Langen and members of the board. I want to acknowledge the fact that we have in the audience tonight two representatives from Taylor Morrison. We have Olga Vince, who is the land development, their land planner and development manager. And then we also have Ryan Hathaway, who is the vice president of acquisitions of Taylor Morrison. He's actually the signatory on the park development agreement. So thank you very much for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. So the Steel Ridge development is in the Sun Creek specific plan area, and so you have before you the diagram that's in the staff report that shows all of our development, the big development projects, and the Steel Ridge development is part of the light blue, which is the whole Sun Creek specific plan area. And it's directly east of Cavala Ranch to kind of give you some frame of reference as to where this overall project is located. So as being part of the Sun Creek specific plan, the Steel Ridge project is also a participant in the Sun Creek specific plan Quimby Park in lieu fee program. And so they are required to satisfy its Quimby Parkland obligation through dedication of a community park site and payment of in lieu fees. The parkland dedication will be a 10-acre community park, and the Quimby Parkland fees will be the equivalent to a 2.6 acres in value. And so kind of as a little background to the Sun Creek specific plan Quimby in lieu fee program. That was approved by the board back in September of 2022, and for the main purpose of there's 6 different landowners in the Sun Creek specific plan area, and 4 of the landowners are under dedicating park property, and so they have to pay a portion in lieu fees, and 2 of them are over dedicating parkland, and so those in lieu fees that we collect from the under dedicators will then later be paid out to the over dedicators when they're ready to develop. So just a little background on what that program actually is. So anyhow, so I'm going to also now show you where the park site is in relation to the entire Steel Ridge development. And the park site that we're talking about is over on the east side of the project, and it is right next to Americanos Boulevard, the future extension of Americanos Boulevard. And then to the north, there is another future community park, as well as the high school and middle school site, and then an elementary school site is planned directly west of the community park site. That gives you a little more context for it. Okay, the proposed park development agreement, or PDA, is necessary to establish the developer's obligations and the district's acceptance requirements for the community park site. In addition to the Quimby in lieu fee obligations, the developer is also required to pay development or park development impact fees for each residential unit. So those fees will then be used to fund the park improvements. They're separate from the Quimby Parkland dedication fees. The PDA requires the developer to construct all necessary street frontage improvements adjacent to the community park site, including the curb, gutter, sidewalk, paving, utilities, street lighting, and related improvements. Utility stub-ins, storm drainage, and supporting infrastructure must be provided to the park boundary. They are also required to rough grade the community park site in accordance with the district standards, and so the rough grading must result in a anticipated schedule for build-out of the Steel Ridge development. So in recent conversations with Olga, she indicated that Taylor Morrison's goal is to have the park site ready for the district's acceptance by the end of 2029. Now that, of course, is contingent upon the economy and the rate at which the home sales are going. And so based on what they're expecting, that's their goal, to be ready to turn it over to us at the end of 2029. So there's 5 different categories to consider as far as the fiscal impact of this action. And so the first one is the developer is responsible for the district's cost recovery related to preparation of the park development agreement. Second one is that the project will generate revenue to the district for development of the parcel through the payment of park development impact fee. The third is that they will pay Quimby in lieu fees that will be collected and distributed according to that Sun Creek specific plan Quimby Park in lieu fee program. The fourth is that the developer has already annexed into the district's community facilities district last month, which will provide funding for ongoing maintenance and facility replacement. And the fifth is that there is no anticipated impact to the district's general fund. So that's a summary of the fiscal impact. So board approval of the recommended action will allow execution and recordation of the PDA between the developer and CRPD. This will allow the developer to continue moving forward with the Steel Ridge residential project while ensuring that the district needs are secured. So that concludes my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
All right. I don't have any questions, but great job. I appreciate it. Well done.
Great, thanks.
What's proposed on the other side of that boulevard, Americano Boulevard?
That is additional, one other landowner of the 6 in the Sun Creek specific plan is Lennar Homes, and it's basically another housing development that includes one neighborhood park in that.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Good proposal.
I don't have any questions.
I'm good. Nice job, thank you.
I just, so this is 3 phases, so the school will be built in phase 1, is that what the plan is?
That I need to turn over to them, but I will say that the construction of the school is not under the developer's control. It's
Okay.
fully under the control of Elk Grove Unified School District.
Okay.
So do you have anything to add to that?
We do not. Now, the school site will be developed and graded with our phase 1 improvements.
Oh, okay.
But the school district holds a 5-year reservation on the site, and so they haven't made any inclination of whether they're interested in it or not.
And the same thing goes for us in phase 2, that's when the parkland will be leveled for delivery, so that might not be built until phase 3 then, by the other phases you have here too.
I'm sorry, what won't be built till?
So what I'm saying is, so you'll deliver in phase 2 the land, but the park might not be built until phase 3. Okay. That was my only question. I just saw the different phases in there. Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
I move the Board of Directors adopt Resolution 2526-34 approving the park development agreement with Taylor Morrison of California LLC for the Steel Ridge Development Project and authorize the chairperson of the Board of Directors to sign the same.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Mattis and a second by Director Danzel. Roll call vote.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye. That brings us to G2.
Item G2, authorize the general manager to sign a construction agreement with F. Leduca Company in the amount of $489,113 for the White Rock Community Dog Park project. And at this time, we received no speaker cards, and seeing no public comment, I will turn it over to Principal Planner Terry Zeller.
Thank you, Shelby. Is this the one
Okay, thank you. This is coming before you. We did have a successful bid opening, and now we are ready to seek your approval for funding and building this community dog park project. So first, a little bit of background on how this project came to be. The city of Rancho Cordova received over $15 million in coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds, and those are otherwise known as ARPA funds, American Recovery Plan Act funding. And after that funding was received, the city council did approve an initial allocation of those funds in June of 2022. So this goes back a few years. Of this allocation, $2.5 million was set aside for investment in neighborhoods disproportionately impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic to promote improved health outcomes based on community input process. And they sought input for the funds, use of those funds in May of 2023. And so from this information, funding a dog park was determined to be one of the supported uses of these funds. And the city is providing the district $500,000 of funding from their allocation of these funds. The city worked with the district to determine a location, and the White Rock Community Park on White Rock Road was chosen. Calendar and Associates was hired to develop the concept and construction documents and prepared a concept plan under the direction of our department. And the concept was informed by two separate outreach efforts, with the first one being a booth set up at the district's Party at the Park event that we have every year at the White Rock Community Park in July of 2024. It was one of the first events that I attended after coming to work for the district. And the second was an evening meeting at the White Rock Community Center on April 8th of last year. The bid opening was held in this month, June 2nd, and the district received 8 bids. So out of those 8 bids, F. LaDuca Company was determined to be the lowest responsive bidder with a total base bid of $489,113. There was a proposed ad alternate for the gathering area outside of the dog park, but it is not recommended for inclusion in this contract. And so to take a look back at this park amenity, I'll go over some of the key features. The concept plan features a 3-section dog park utilizing the existing turf that we have out there, located on the back portion of the park along the highway sound wall. The design allows for 2 sections to be active at a time, allowing the third section to be able to rest and maintain the health of the turf. Each of those 3 sections are going to feature an 8x16 shelter with bench seating set on a large concrete area with a watering station at the far end of the concrete pad designed to run off into a cobble area to eliminate the all too common mud pit that you see in most dog parks. Each section is going to have its own double gate entrance, separated to be far from the other entrances to limit the contact of small and large dogs when the two of the 3 areas are being used at that time. The 6-foot chain link fencing will enclose all the areas of the dog park, and each section will also have both existing trees for shade, and we are planning quite a few additional trees, as you can see in the concept plan, to supplement the mature trees for the shade for this park. The design is made to fit in and not interfere with the existing sidewalks in the future Cal-Am well project that is being built to the east side of the dog park at this time. The location for this dog park was favored by public input to give as much distance from noise as possible to the homes in the neighborhood on the north side of the park, and also to keep as much of the existing turf in the back section of the park open as possible. The size of this park, to give you an idea of how big this is going to be, is slightly smaller than our dog park at Hagen, but the sections are more square and equal in size. There will be up to 4 benches situated in each of the 3 sections for people to be able to break away from the main seating area and follow the shade throughout the day. And we also have a series of double gates proposed to link the 3 sections to provide ease of maintenance for mowing and cleanup. There will be trash receptacles. I know that's always a big question about the dog parks. And there will be trash receptacles at each entrance. And the ad alternate, like I said, was considered Oh, thank you. Did it?
Right out about
I was just trying to yell louder. Thank you, Matt. Ooh, theater in the round now. Okay. So the city is going to reimburse up to $500,000 for this project to cover costs for design, permitting, and construction. With the successful low bid that we received on June 2nd, the total cost for this project is estimated to be around $550,000. So that includes all of our costs. So any cost exceeding the city's ARPA funding through the MOU with the district will be covered through district project funds. So after board approval, we're going to have the general manager sign the construction agreement documents, and the contractor will be given a notice to proceed. So I can take any questions.
All right. Start down there at the end with Director Sloan.
Well, I know the community's been waiting a long time for this dog park. I've been, one resident alone I know is 93 years old, and she walks her dog almost every day. And she's been waiting for this, and I'm glad you guys are starting to move on it. I didn't hear, when is the proposed completion?
October.
October of this year?
Yes.
Cool, that's great. Thank you.
Yes.
But on the trees, right now, none of these trees are out there?
There are trees that are out there. The trees that are shown on the concept plan are trees that will be planted. The ones that are existing are in the dash lines.
Oh, the dash line?
Yes.
Okay, I see. So what, you would put a small little tree in there with the park bench? Or would you put the park bench where there's a bigger tree?
We're going to site those park benches to try to take as much advantage of the midday shade as possible.
Good, okay, thank you.
We've got some flexibility for that.
Director Sloan asked the same questions I was gonna ask, so thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Looks like a great project.
Yeah, very excited. I know for the district, this is a very exciting project coming. I know those citizens out there will be very happy. With that yellow dotted area or the dashed out area, is that included, or we did not get funding for that yet? So that'll be a future add-on?
After the design, we had some second thoughts about providing a seating area right outside the dog park. I think we want to wait and see how the use is before we create more seating area for the dog park.
Will that just be turf then, no trail?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much gonna stay the way that it is right now.
Okay. Thank you.
The only question I have is, with the turf, is it gonna be new turf get laid down, or is it just gonna stay existing turf?
We are gonna go with the existing turf for two reasons: the cost factor, and then the second is that there's a lot more stability to, let's call it turf that's out there. We call it park turf. It's about 30% actual turf grass.
Yeah.
So everything that's green and growing is park turf. So we're hoping that as it gets used, we will overseed and take care of it that way.
Awesome. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move the board of directors authorize the general manager to sign a construction agreement with F. Ludica Company in the amount of $489,113 for the White Rock Community Dog Park project.
I second that.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Mattis and a second by Director Sloan. Roll call vote.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Dansel?
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. That brings us to G3.
Item G3, adopt resolution 25/26-35, amending the full-time wage schedules as required by California Code of Regulations, section 570.5. And just a quick note on this item, there was a clerical error on the attachment to the staff report. So on the salary scale, it showed an effective date of January 1st, 2026, and that should have reflected July 1st, 2026. An amended copy of the salary schedule with the updated date is provided for the board on the dais and for members of the public on the table at the back of the room. And at this time, we received no speaker cards, and seeing none, I will turn it over to Human Resource Manager Andrea White.
Thank you, Chair Langen and Board of Directors. I'm here this evening to amend the full-time wage schedules, and we're required to do that in open session as required by California Code Regulation Section 570.5. So what we're bringing tonight in concert with the preliminary budget is to amend the salaries to reflect a 3% COLA. As most of you remember, about 5 years ago, we did a salary study where we you decided as a board to be in the median of the market. So since then, we've been trying to keep up with the other agencies to make sure that we're still in line with our salaries. So we did a study. We actually studied 15 comparable agencies, local agencies, and last year they provided a 1.53 COLA, where we provided a 0 COLA, and then on average, they're bringing to their government agency, they're proposing 2.5% COLA. So that is about 4% over the last 2 years. And so we're bringing forward a 3% COLA, a conservative number, but still trying to keep in line. And then we will do our study, we're hoping in this next fiscal year, to see where we're at with agencies overall. So with that particular item, there is a fiscal impact of $286,400 annually. And of course, that is assuming that's all the same people at the same rates. With turnover and so forth, that can change a little bit, and our budget allows for that. We're also asking for a couple title changes. Because you are responsible for approving the salary schedule with the titles associated, we're asking to amend 2 specific titles. The first one is the Director of Parks and Recreation. We would like to just change the order of those words to be Parks and Recreation Director. There has been some confusion occasionally with the director, a board director, and this position. So we would like to make that amendment to make it clear. There will be no other change to that position whatsoever. No change to the salary either. And the second item is our communications and marketing analyst. So within our district, we have series. We might have a park maintenance series, a recreation series. This in the communications department would change to the community relations analyst. Right now we have a community relations coordinator, and so this would be in line with that, so that the coordinator is like a somewhat entry level, and the analyst is a journey level within that series. And so that will help us with some future recruitment. Again, no change to the salary, so there's no fiscal impact. With that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
All right, we'll start down there at the end.
No question.
So I've heard it, but I want to put it out there. So last year, this board chose to give no COLA, correct?
Correct.
And an average was 1.5 for the surrounding area, if I'm hearing that right. So 1.5 over 2 years is 3, is what basic math, right? So, okay. I just want to make sure that that's what we're asking for this year, is 3 after not giving one yesterday.
Well, we didn't, it wasn't presented to us last year. So.
That's correct. We did not present it last year.
Okay.
I have no questions.
I just know that it's a hard time, you know, not just for everybody, you know, in the economy right now. So, with the compensation study, is that gonna come back to us to approve that, or, okay, before it goes out so we can make recommendations to it then?
Yeah, that's a great question. Typically, we will put out an RFP. We will bring that to the Board of Directors. Although it's kind of a smaller one, we do bring that to the board. You will also, what we did last time is you voted on which agencies did we benchmark against.
Okay, good. Okay.
And then we will present the findings and allow the board to make a decision on where we want to be in the market. And so that usually dictates any adjustments going forward. And it is my hope to also include part-time wages in that study, including benefits.
Yeah, no, I'll just hold my comments for that at that time. Thank you.
Of course.
No comments. Thank you. Good job. Do we have a motion?
Chair Layton, I'll make the motion. I move the Board of Directors adopt Resolution 25-26 slash 26-35, amending the full-time and part-time salary and rate schedules as requested by California Code of Regulations, Section 570.5.
Second?
Second.
I had to bring my computer glasses.
We have a motion by Secretary Yearwood and a second by Director Danzel. Roll call vote.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye.
Thank you.
That brings us to G4.
Item G4, authorize the general manager to execute a park use agreement with the Cordova Community Council for the use of the Hagan Community Park for the 2026 Rancho Cordova 4th of July celebration, contingent upon receipt of all required insurance documents by Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026, 10 days prior to the event in case of event cancellation, and approve the Cordova Recreation and Park District's in-kind contributions to the event. And at this time, we received no speaker cards. However, is anyone who would like to make a public comment? And seeing none, I would like to welcome back up Human Resource Manager Andrea White.
Ms. White, before you start, Chair Langdon, I will be recusing myself. As we all know, I do work for the Cordova Community Council, so I will not be in here for that.
Okay, thank you again, Chair Langen and the board. So tonight we're bringing forward the approval of the park use agreement to the Cordova Community Council for the 4th of July event. I would like to note that there is a supplemental staff report. Is that available also at the table in the back with additional information, but I'll do the original presentation and provide some supplemental information as well. As you know, every year we do the 4th of July event. I'm sure we've been doing it for many years, the 20 years that I've been here, much longer than that. And so what this is approving the permit between the district and the Cordova Community Council, in your staff report noted as the CCC. And so what we're coming forward to you is to do a contingent approval of this agreement and also approve the in-kind donation that the district provides for allowing this event in our park at the Hagan Community Park. The background, well, they expect typically around 25,000 people. I'm sure that fluctuates depending on the weather. And they utilize pretty much a large portion of Hagan Community Park. The CCC fences off the entire park to restrict entrance and charges an entrance fee like they have done in years past. As far as the in-kind donation, the estimated expenses and loss of revenue include staff time, miscellaneous maintenance costs, including fuel, equipment, materials, contractors, loss of revenue for recreation programming, and loss of revenue for facility and park rentals. I would like to note that part of this agreement and something that we've talked with the CCC considerably are the insurance requirements. Insurance, as everyone knows, even with their home insurance, has gotten more expensive and more strict, and our carrier is the same, and requiring stiffer, stronger coverages for the district to protect our assets. And so you'll see in your staff report that there is a long list of insurance requirements for the CCC, and they're considered high-risk vendors. And so it does list exactly what is required and all of the endorsements that come with that. That includes an additional insured endorsement. It needs to be primary non-contributory, and it needs to waive a waiver of subrogation. That way that If those vendors also insure us, then we're sure that if something happens, that we're also protected as the property owner. And these vendors include fireworks. There's a recent addition of a drone show. There's the carnival and other the security and the performers. So we were hoping to kind of get these to you in May, but we extended the deadline, and so I would like to provide the supplemental information. As of today, we are still waiting for a scheduled endorsement. That means listing us as an additional insured endorsement, which is different than a blanket waiver. A blanket only protects those that that person has a contract with. The additional insured endorsement also includes the district if they list us as an additional insured. So that what we're still waiting on is the Pyro Spectaculars, that's the fireworks vendor. The Members in Black Security, which is their security, the endorsement schedule with the district listed as an additional insured. And updated insurance, because it states in their certificate that it expires on June 17th, today, in fact. So we do need it to cover the whole event in July. And the Spasmatics performer, we're missing the endorsement schedule with the district listed as an additional insured. With this additional information, which they're very close to having what we need, but those three are we're still waiting for those endorsements. Staff recommends that the Board of Directors authorize the general manager or designee to execute a park use agreement with the Cordova Community Council for the use of Hagan Park for the 2026 Rancho Cordova 4th of July celebration, contingent upon receipt of all required insurance document by Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026, 10 days prior to the event. And to note, that would also be right before they start moving on to the property to start setting up for the event. Authorize the general manager or designee to cancel any event activities that do not meet the district's insurance requirements and approve the Cordova Recreation and Park District's in-kind contributions to the event. And there's quite a bit of information in the staff report, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
All right, we can start down there with,
Well, I know that we talked about adding the words by noon on that, on the 23rd.
That's
Right. So, I know that this is kind of that we're going through this makes me feel sad, but I'm sure it'll be cleared up. I'm sure we're gonna have our celebration, and it seems like there's either it's a communication problem or something we just need to get better with, and I hope that we can clear this thing up as soon as possible.
That's it.
all right.
I don't know what to say. So yeah, I agree, and I think we all agree we want the event to occur as it always has, but we do need to have what's required of our insurance. So hopefully we can get that all situated, and I know you guys have been working on this for months, so I'm not sure if the hesitation is with these vendors. I don't know. So I'm confident we'll get it all taken care of.
Yes, I'm confident that, the event will happen. It'll no hitches, and nobody's gonna know any of this that's going on, and so it's just gonna be a great event. Yeah, and then just also too, just wanna make sure that we also put in our wording in there, because I know Director Sloan mentioned the noon deadline, but also too that I wanna add later on, but in the motion that we also include our support from our local and fire agencies as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I have a lot of optimism that this is going to get worked out and we're going to be okay. But at the same time, we have to also look out for us in the district. And so you know, the one thing that makes me really hesitant is not having for the security, and that's the security vendor. And so to me, it just puts a little more hesitancy on it, knowing that it might not be secure. And so what does that, you know, entail? That's one of my biggest hesitations.
I see Shelley's hands risen too, and so I hope we get an explanation too of what this security contract encompasses.
Do public comment after
Oh, okay.
we're discussing it.
Then we get the
When
public
you guys are done
Yeah.
discussing, we can open it up for public comment. if you'd like.
We'll, once we're done discussing, we'll open it up for public comment.
So we done? I think we're done, right?
Sure.
Sure.
So, did Shelley want to say something?
Okay, you're welcome to come up to the podium for public comment. And then just a reminder, we do have that 3-minute speaker limit, and then we have a handy dandy clock over to the side here.
Okay, great. I'll try to talk fast then. Just to give you a little bit more perspective on where we are on this, there's no communications gap here at all. The Park District was very, very clear what the expectations were, and we have also been very clear with different vendors. There's new things here, so I think the vendors are adjusting. But just so you know, that all the insurance requirements, take away this last, just stay with me for a moment, have been met. And these are really hefty, you know, $10 million policies. So all those levels have been met. And then you're covered by blanket coverage in this. You should know that. So those have already been secured as well. What you're asking for is an elevated scheduled I can't think of the word I'm looking for, the scheduled endorsement, which we've been working on getting. We've got most of them. But just so you know, everybody else in this area does take the blanket endorsement. Like, for example, the city of Rancho Cordova, the county of Sacramento. So this isn't like a risky thing. This is the industry standard, really. And while I understand that you want to go beyond that, and I respect that, I just want you to know that you're not at any crazy risk. The oddball thing on the security, we have been directed to really step up security now, and it's been difficult to actually find a local security company that can meet the challenge. As you know, we have 45 Rancho Cordova Police Department personnel assigned to this event. So you're safe, even if we didn't have the additional now requirement by the Rancho Cordova Police Department that we have to hire like 15 security guards. So it'll be the safest place in Northern California on the 4th of July. Because of that, I just don't want it, you know, kind of resting out there that for some reason we're not taking care of security. On the contrary, it's very much increased, and it's just this oddball thing that the company that we selected, today is their renewal date. So having their documents today just could not happen by today. I just want to make sure that you know, when in approving this contingent approval, is that what you're actually doing, I think everything will come in too. But in the event that one piece of, one waiver does not come through, are you willing today to say then we're canceling the 4th of July celebration without any further discussion, without any further soul searching, like, can we work this out? Is there a way we can find a solution? And I guess at this point, I have to just sort of throw myself on your mercy, because you know, in these things, in community work, as you know, sometimes we have to, we got to work together to get to yes, and that's what I'm asking you to do today. Please help me and the Cordova Community Council, on the 250th anniversary of our great country, be able to celebrate the 4th of July and not get hung up on a technical issue that we didn't even get to discuss. And I guess that's what I'm just asking you to consider before you vote. I'm willing to do anything you want. We have been working on this for months. I have some email threads with these vendors are 40 and 50 emails long, trying to get to yes. So that's my request to you, to think about that before you vote, and leave room for some negotiation so that we can do this great thing for the 41st annual Rancho Cordova 4th of July. A great partnership with the Cordova Recreation and Park District. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Is there anything else?
Does anyone have any questions?
Well, I want to talk a little bit. I'm totally in agreement with working with something out here. I can't see us canceling something. It wouldn't be, the whole thing wouldn't be just canceled because of one little document or that.
No, that's not true.
Well, we had a discussion about that. We could piece it together. So the spasmatic guy, if we can't get it for him, maybe we don't have him. Maybe we have the other group play 2 nights in a row. I don't know, that might, there's ways to work. We have flexibility to work with you guys.
Yeah.
But, you know, but the part of it was the security, and hearing that we have police. I know we had the police presence out there. Are they 24 hours out there? Or they go home at night?
Yeah, for a lot of it, it is 24 hours, starting on July 1. We have huge electrical assets on the ground and other equipment assets, yes.
But this is the police department that's out there.
No, that's
private
private
sec-
security and
Right,
police.
But it's the private security that we do not have the paperwork for?
That's correct. Today was the renewal date.
Right, so we're gonna get that.
Yes.
Okay,
But
I'm-
when I say that, I am not the security company,
Right.
so I can't stand here
Right.
and guarantee it. But that's what we have been told and I believe to be true.
Our conversation had to do with the setup of the whole event, and that takes place on the 24th?
I think we start on the 23rd or 24th usually,
I think
yeah.
it was that, we
Mhm.
figured out it was the 24th, so that's why
That
we
could be.
gave me to the 23rd. Hopefully, we can get this thing fixed.
I just want to remind the board that this isn't really a discussion opportunity between both. There's an opportunity for public comment and then an opportunity for board discussion. So just a general meeting reminder.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to provide information to make sure that we're getting the full picture of what's going on.
We can ask clarifications though, can we? Correct. Okay.
Yep. Nobody else has any questions? I'm done. How are we gonna word this thing?
Well, just,
So we took down the notes that everybody mentioned here. And there's some language we wanted to take out of what was on the supplemental, add a little bit extra for this, and we understand of what's going on. But I make a motion that I move the board of directors authorize the general manager to execute a park use agreement with the Cordova Community Council for the use of Hagan Community Park for the 2026 Rancho Cordova 4th of July celebration, contingent upon the receipt of all required insurance documents by Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 by noon, 12 p.m., 10 days before the event. Authorize the general manager or designee to deny any event activities that do not meet the district's insurance requirements and the activated support by local fire and police agencies, and approve the community or the Cordova Recreation and Park District's in-kind contributions to the event. That's from what we had discussed here, yeah.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Mattis and a second by Secretary Yearwood. Roll call vote.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel has recused himself. Secretary Yearwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye.
And the motion passes.
All right. Oh.
You gonna go to Disneyland on the fourth?
All right, that brings us to H, Board of Directors items.
Item H1A, Board Communications, Sacramento County 2026 Election Information. And at this time, we received no speaker cards and seeing no public comment, I'll just highlight a few points on the board communication. At the March meeting, the Board of Directors approved a resolution calling for the November 3rd general district election and consolidation with the statewide election. This is simply an informational item that includes key dates for the upcoming election. One I want to highlight is the candidate nomination period, which opens July 13th and runs through August 7th. During this period, nomination documents must be submitted, and then additional dates can be found in the board packet and on Sacramento County's website.
All right. H2, Board Reports.
For item H2A, Directors Danzel and Sloan attended the CRPD conference in May, and item H2B is the Community Activities Report, and we've received no public comment. And seeing none, I will turn it back over to you.
All right. For training reports, CARPD conference, May 27th through the 30th. Danzel and Sloan.
We had a very successful conference held in Monterey at the Hyatt. We had our first ever golf tournament. Director Danzel played in that with his lovely wife. We probably had one of our better attendance in sponsorship. We did basically the conference was, we had a plus at the very end. We had a net amount of over almost $9,500 left over. So we really did a good job on this conference. The conference was, a little bit of rain, but that didn't matter because we're indoors. We had some very interesting breakout sessions. One was our own Shelby Golden and Stephanie Stevens put on they call it Rules of the Road, where they got a bunch of people to build 16 bikes for little kids, working at different tables, and sort of how you went about doing it, who took the direction, who was, decided to help out doing, smaller tasks. So it was very interesting. And all those bikes were donated to some school or underprivileged children. We had some interesting, other breakout session was partnerships, and one on electrical vehicles and how to making your park, one was ChatGPT. It was like how AI can help your rec program. We had one of our receptions was at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, a president's reception, and I'm going to let Director Danzel talk more because he probably has a lot more to add.
Thank you. As Director Sloan said, it was definitely our largest in sponsorship dollars also. For what, 3 years ago, our sponsorship dollars were about $46,000. We're over 100,000 now, which is great, and which you bring in more sponsors, obviously more sponsorship dollars. It's great that happens. Largest attendance we've had Still about the same amount of districts showing up, about between 34 and 37 districts is typically what shows up out of the 71 we have. So we're still about half there. Some of the highlights on the breakout sessions, partnerships, great and small, expanding your agency by Jim Friedel, out of a rating of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, it got a 4.7. And the data-driven decision-making by Jim Wheeler was a 4.8. Those are the top two. And then, believe it or not, our claims conversations with the executive director of CRPD and Capri got a 4.7. So people actually enjoyed listening to Matt talk about insurance this year, which is really good. And then
Recount.
one that I did find interesting on that I went to was it's electric vehicles, tools, infrastructure by a district right south of us, Southgate, Ward Winchell. He also gave a presentation, so that was really really good. And then we always have the general manager goes and staff goes to a breakout session for general manager and staff, and then myself and Director Sloan go to the board ones, and I typically lead one session on board roundtables. That's all I've got.
Well, there's one that I thought was very interesting. I think it was opened up to most everybody, was tree inspection. Because that always seems to be, how people are saying, why are you removing those trees? And because they have some disease in it or something in there, and they propose a danger to the community. And so this woman was out there talking about all these different cases that happen, because what happens is when a big giant limb falls to the ground and say it injured somebody, well, how it's reported by the employee is very important of who's responsible. So if they say that tree showed decay or shows decay, then that changes the whole case, rather than just documenting a tree limb fell and without someone else coming out and doing the inspection. So I thought that was very interesting. This event is, Director Danzel mentioned that the sponsorship really dictates too how the growth of this conference is gonna go, because the more sponsorships, the more attendance, it keeps growing, which probably could be an issue with finding the venues to house more people. We're never going to get as big as CSDA, but we're definitely growing. How we can get more districts represented would be kind of a goal of ours. But I just thought it was a really nice conference, and I wished a couple more of our directors could have attended.
All right, that brings us to community activity reports. I'm going to start it off with I did not attend anything this month, so. And we'll go down to Secretary Yearwood.
I as well have nothing to report on, so we'll move on over to Director Danzel.
I have two on mine. One of them I just went over in my last report over the conference. The other one, Director Sloan and myself both attended the CRPD board meeting today. Basically went over the finances of the conference, where we sit there. Unfortunately, our new president was not there to give committee assignments, but we also did get the ratings of the conference, and we got our calendar for next year. And then we also did get the membership dues renewal. We voted on that today, and General Manager Larkin, you'd be happy to know that our dues did not go up. So they're going to stay exactly the same as they were this year. Other than that, that's all I've got to report on.
Okay, I'll fill everybody in. On May 27th to the 30th was the CRPD conference. On Friday, June 5th, I attended the Movies in the Park at Village Green. It was our first double feature in the park. We have a new projection system the CCC purchased, I guess, and it really makes a big difference in sound and quality of the image of what the people are seeing. It was a little hot. It's a little, when you have a lot of people out there, and if you're gonna have an event in the evening and it's really hot, it might dwindle some of the attendance, but I think it's gonna start cooling off, and the movies are all geared towards something that has to do with the 250th anniversary of our country. Next thing was on Saturday, June 6th, I attended an event which is in its 4th year running called Art in the Park at Lincoln Village Community Park. It's another one of those events it's starting to grow. And once they start growing, it attracts more and more patronage. And I see this, I met actually last night with It Takes a Lincoln Village. We talked about this, how it could grow into a much bigger hands-on experience for a lot of people in the art world, not only in two-dimensional work, but three-dimensional, and also in theatrical. I see music happening, more stuff like that, and it's going to be, I think, it's going to start to be a really one of those signature events that people are going to be talking about. I really feel that. The next thing was on Thursday, June 11th, I attended at Dave Roberts Community Park the Good Neighbor Day put on by the City of Rancho Cordova. And of course, it was another hot day. But luckily, we're in a park that's so established with beautiful trees, the canopies really cooled it off. And it really was a nice little event. And they're going to have 3 other ones. I think the next one's going to be in September. On Friday, the 12th, I attended the District Safety Week barbecue at Hagan Community Park, which is ending a week of festivities that the district has put on to more safety awareness. And Director Danzel was also there. And then the next thing was Wednesday, June 17th, the CRPD board meeting. Like Director Danzel says, we went over the conference and all the pluses that we had about that. And the next thing was on also the workshop we had today. I attended that. And right before the meeting, I went out to Hagan Park at 3 o'clock, and they had the Folsom Cordova Community Partnership put on the Juneteenth event, which is another event that's growing. I mean, every event that we're starting to do, if you do it long enough and keep it going, it gets bigger and bigger, and word of mouth is really helping it out. I think to get more vendors out there. I was sad that I had to leave because the best part of that event is the dancing and the music and some of the festivities that they have. But I left there about 4:10 and took as many photographs as I could of some of the vendors just to capture it. They moved it over to the pavilion, which is a little bit more of a challenge because it's hotter over there from where it wasn't before. But that's because it's growing. We have growing pains in the Cordova Record Park District, which is a good thing. And that's all. Thank you.
All right, that brings us to I, comments by staff on non-agenda items.
Item I1, district-wide monthly progress report for June 2026. And at this time, we received no speaker cards. And seeing none, I will hand it over to General Manager Patrick Larkin.
Thank you, Clerk Shelby Golden. Just some highlights from the past month. Myself and staff attended the new Community Food Hub grand opening and ribbon cutting event. Congratulations to the Community Food Hub. We were supportive of their opening. We worked with them. Thank you, Jim, and your staff for getting donations of park, fill, mulch, trees, bushes through our vendors to spruce up the location and get them ready for their grand opening. So they're a great partner. We'll continue to support them as they move into their new building. I guess it sounds like they're going to be moving from their existing location in August to their new location. Also, in this past month, I attended the Fishing Day event at Hagan Community Park Pond. This is a great collaborative event between the district, UCP, Rotary Club, California Fish and Wildlife, and Fishing in the City program. There was a lot of attendance out there. It was stocked with carp the night before. The maintenance crew did a great job getting rid of the, remnants of the geese out there to make it a safe and less smelly place to be. It was fantastic. It was so cool to see kids catch their first fish and be so excited about it. They caught the fish and then they bagged them up and they apparently cooked them. So I was like, wow, that's really surprising. But anyway, it was incredible to witness. I took a couple of videos and it was just a great collaboration and a great feel-good kind of experience for us to be a part of. Also attended the CRPD conference. I thought it was an excellent job, and kudos again to Shelby and Stephanie Stevens for doing the keynote session. It was fantastic, and
Better than
just
expected.
tying in that other service project with the bikes donation was absolutely brilliant in my opinion. So thank you for that. Also, we won 2 awards at this awards ceremony there. One was for Capri for their safety award, and the other one was for CRPD to win Outstanding Special Event Award for Cupcakes Community Memorial, which was great. Huge honors, were recognized with several national top workplace culture awards, and some of those include purpose and values, employee well-being, and leadership. A lot of this has been posted on social media. This was a survey that we had sent out to all of the employees, and the results came back and were submitted to this agency. Typical recognition is about 70% scored back, would be a high scored considered to them, but we scored in the 90s. So kudos to our staff that keep our culture healthy and supportive and keeping us thriving. So amazing job to all of our staff and leadership and employees for keeping us a great place to work. So kudos to everyone with that. Mather Sports Complex South Soccer Field Turf Replacement Project is completed. We have a couple of button-up things to do for our punch list. Other than that, we finished that up on Friday and they were playing on Saturday, which is great. And it looks fantastic from what I understand. John made sure that we had all the lines cinched together and it's perfection. So thanks to John Biondo for his detail attention. On page 280, there is an example and a photo of a new fire hydrant painted. There are 250 fire hydrants going to be painted in the city of Rancho Cordova through the Rancho Cordova 250 project. This one listed is at Hagen Community Park. It was approved through their Day of Service program and completed during that time. We hosted the California Mermaid Convention this past month, which was highly successful in tracking some hotel stays and economic development. They've done very well with demonstrating that event coming to our community and how the economic impact is great from that. We also hosted our community yard sale. We had the city's Spring Service Day event where we had several projects in our parks, including painting bullards, planting trees, and sprucing up the tot lot at Hagen Community Park. Youth girls volleyball in May. We officially kicked off our 5th and 6th grade girls youth volleyball season with 65 players across 6 teams, which is great. We're excited to see this league continue to grow and want to send a special thank you out to 9 wonderful volunteer coaches that are helping us make it a success. Our preschool, STEAM preschool program, they had their end of the year pool party at Cordova Community Pool, and they also did a pledge for water safety and learned the importance of safety skills because it coincidentally was Water Safety Month. So, and kudos to Colin for getting on video and having some very entertaining educational sessions for our community. So, in our teen adventure group, they took their indoor rock climbing skills outdoors and went rock climbing on an excursion in Auburn. And there's a really cool picture on page 291 of them scaling looks like a granite wall that I would never do in a million years. But it is extremely cool for these kids to have these opportunities, and so kudos to our leaders, Matt and Courtney, right? Morgan, for leading them and giving them these opportunities, which is such a thing that they will always have these great memories. So, swim teams, Cordova Blue Marlins registration is completely full with 209 registered swimmers, and Cordova Cordettes continue to fill and currently has 32 registered swimmers for their program as well. They had at the Senior Center a Plumeria workshop, which was a workshop at NOSAC, and members of the Garden Club volunteer focused on cultivating and caring for the Plumeria plant. Apparently that's a very special plant. The workshop was attended by 21 participants, and each attendee received a Plumeria plant to take home. Golf course is doing very well. We had an increase of rounds played last year, this time 4,943, up to 5,245 rounds played this time this year compared to last year, and revenue is up 0.25% over last year. Let's see, I'll make sure I got everyone covered here. Gold River Park got a change out of their pump station, so no more pyramid for them. They have a nice new modern looking station out there for them. Stone Creek Community Park received some love. They have 12 new tables and 24 new benches as a part of an ongoing facility improvement projects, which is nice for them. Earth Day occurred this past month, and we had Solidigm employees out at Williamson Park, the developed Williamson Park, moving 35 cubic yards of mulch, which is 5 truckloads, to spruce up that particular park, which we appreciate all of their service for that. Camp Cordova started, our aquatics program started, and that is the end of my report.
All right, we'll go to J, informational items.
Item J1 is our articles, correspondence, and public outreach, and item J2 is our district calendar for June and July.
All right. We'll adjourn. Oh, yep, you did that. We will adjourn this meeting at 7:49.
Thank you all.
Good job, team.
Patrick, Plumeria is what?